Another excruciating winter is upon them. But rebuilding the windmill is a matter of honour for the animals. They can't give the humans the satisfaction of seeing them fail. But a food shortage in January threatens all the animals' lives. Rumours of famine, disease and infighting on Animal Farm spreads among the humans. To counteract this, Napoleon has Mr. Whymper, Animal Farm's lawyer, report to the humans that their food bins are full. Yeah, right, full of sand. Meanwhile, Napoleon comes up with a plan to raise money to buy food for the animals. Squealer announces that the hens must produce 400 eggs a week to sell to the humans. But it's too early in the season to take their eggs. It's murder. The hens rebel, flying to the rafters and smashing their eggs. So Napoleon cuts off the hens' rations and threatens death to anyone who feeds them. The strike lasts for 5 days before the hens return to their boxes and carry out orders. The 9 hens who perished during the strike are said to have died from illness. The hens' rebellion is hushed up, their eggs are delivered on time, and the humans are none the wiser. But trade relations are still shaky between Napoleon and the neighbouring farmers, Mr. Frederick and Mr. Pilkington. The reason? Snowball is apparently hiding on one of their farms. In fact, Snowball has been visiting Animal Farm by night to perform all sorts of evil deeds. The cows even claim that Snowball milks them in their sleep. That scoundrel. Squealer confirms that Snowball has indeed sold himself to Mr. Frederick of Pinchfield Farm. Worse yet, Snowball was working with Mr. Jones from the beginning, even during the Battle of the Cowshed. Wait, what? Even Boxer questions this one. He fought next to Snowball at the Battle of the Cowshed. He received a medal, for goodness sake. Squealer assures Boxer that Napoleon has proof of Snowball's treachery, and Napoleon is always right. Boxer backs down at this. Be careful, big guy. Don't get into Squealer's bad books. A few days later, Napoleon orders the animals to assemble. 4 young pigs are grabbed by the dogs and brought before Napoleon. When the dogs turn on Boxer, he fights them off easily, nearly crushing one like an ant. Then the executions begin. 4 pigs, 3 hens, 3 sheep and a goose all have their throats torn out for colluding with Snowball. This leaves the remaining animals shaken and miserable. As they huddle together, Clover's eyes fill with tears. This is not what they had worked, fought and sacrificed for. Since Clover lacks the words to express her sorrow, she sings Beasts of England. The animals sing it 3 times through, slowly and mournfully, until Squealer stops them. Napoleon has abolished Beasts of England and forbids them from singing it. A few days later, Clover and Muriel check the 6th commandment. It reads, "No animal shall kill any other animal without cause." It seems the last 2 words had slipped their minds. This explains why Napoleon had to execute all those traitors. Good riddance. The animals work harder than ever to rebuild the windmill. It seems like they work longer hours and receive less food now than in Jones's day. But according to Squealer, they are actually receiving more food. That must have slipped their minds too. Napoleon is now acting more like a king than a comrade. He rarely comes out in public, lives in separate quarters, and is only referred to by formal titles. Minimus composes a poem in praise of Comrade Napoleon, which is inscribed on the barn wall underneath his portrait. Another 3 hens are executed for plotting to assassinate Napoleon, so his security is beefed up. Not that he's paranoid or anything. Apparently, Snowball has still been lurking on Pinchfield Farm, scheming with Mr. Frederick to attack Animal Farm. When the animals propose to attack Pinchfield, Squealer stops them and tells them to trust Napoleon's strategy. Meanwhile, a gander commits suicide after confessing to conspiring with Snowball to spread weeds on Animal Farm. It's also revealed that Snowball never received a medal after the Battle of the Cowshed. That was a myth spread by Snowball, that liar. Miraculously, despite Snowball's treachery, the windmill is finished on time and named Napoleon Mill. What a triumph! A few days later, Napoleon announces that he has struck a trade deal with Mr. Frederick? It turns out that Mr. Pilkington is the real enemy, not Mr. Frederick. In fact, Snowball has been living in luxury at Mr. Pilkington's farm for years. However, Mr. Frederick ends up cheating Napoleon with forged banknotes. Mr. Frederick and his men then attack Animal Farm and blow up the windmill. A bitter battle ensues, and a cow, 3 sheep, and 2 geese are killed. Many are injured, including Napoleon. Napoleon's dogs manage to chase the men off, but it is a sorrowful victory. 2 years of back-breaking work and 5 of their beloved comrades are lost. Boxer is now 11 years old. Will he cope with the task of building the windmill a 3rd time? Eventually, the animals accept that the Battle of the Windmill was a triumph. Napoleon is awarded a new military decoration, and the pigs party hard with whiskey in the farmhouse. The next morning, Squealer comes around with terrible news. Napoleon is dying. Oh no! What will they do without their great leader? By that evening, however, Napoleon has recovered from his hangover. He also outlaws alcohol under pain of death. A week later, though, Napoleon receives manuals on how to brew alcohol. He also repurposes the old age retirement paddock for sowing barley, the main ingredient in whiskey. After a strange nighttime incident involving Squealer, a broken ladder, and white paint, the animals realise something troubling. They had forgotten part of the 5th commandment. It actually reads, "No animal shall drink alcohol to excess." It's a good thing that Muriel checks these things. Don't you just hate it when your mind plays tricks on you? But what was Squealer doing outside the barn in the middle of the night? It seems like Benjamin is the only one who really knows what's going on. Will he ever get over his cynicism and tell us? We hope you enjoyed this Schooling Online production. For more easy lessons, check out our other videos.